Today, we're talking about 3 essential tips to recover compensation after a dog bite with a lawsuit. So 3 things that you need to know in order to recover compensation, and stick around until the end when I talk about why I think you need to really consider starting a lawsuit in relation to your dog bite if you have a serious injury because of it. So let's get into these tips. I'm Gerry with Gerry Law. I help injured people get the compensation they deserve for their injuries. Tip number 1 is to know the law. Ontario's Dog Owners Liability Act is the law that governs these types of issues with aggressive dogs. The Dog Owners Liability Act was introduced in 1990 to address dog bite incidents by holding the owner of the dog accountable for their dog's actions. In terms of liability, dog owners are strictly liable for injuries or damages their dogs cause. So this means regardless of the dog owner's negligence, even if they weren't negligent, they are strictly liable even despite this. So even without knowledge of their dog's behavior, they are still liable for your damages. Another legal aspect to be aware of is that the court can order destruction of the dog. If deemed necessary, the court may have to order that the dog be put down. The court can also order control measures, so the court can require owners to either confine the dog to their property, use a leash or muzzle, or post warning signs, or a combination of all 3 of those. Some things to consider there are that the court will assess factors including the dog's behavior, the severity of the injuries caused, the circumstances that could justify the dog's actions, like if the dog was provoked, the risk of future attacks, and the owner's precautions. In terms of knowing the law, you should also be aware of pit bull restrictions. So the Act specifies that certain breeds, including pit bull terriers, Staffordshire bull terriers, American Staffordshire terriers, American pit bull terriers, are restricted. So this means that the Act imposes restrictions on ownership, breeding, transfer, and importation of these breeds. So the owners must comply with specific regulations. The Dog Owners Liability Act is designed to protect victims of dog bites and ensure accountability for dog attacks. Dog owners must understand their responsibilities and take preventative measures to avoid harm. If affected by a dog bite, it's important that you get prompt medical attention and legal advice about the effects of the dog bite. Tip number 2 that you need to know after a dog bite injury is what you can recover. So under Ontario's Dog Owners Liability Act, the owner of the dog that bites you is generally liable for all damages that result from the bite. So this can include things like medical costs, so expenses of treating the injury, including hospital bills, medications, and any necessary follow-up care. So usually OHIP will cover this up front, and your lawsuit will have a subrogation where your lawyer will include a claim that will recover OHIP's costs. You can recover, though, any out-of-pocket expenses if you've had to spend money on, say, over-the-counter painkillers or band-aids, things like that. If your clothes were ripped, you had to buy new ones, that's an out-of-pocket expense that you could look to claim for. You can also claim for lost wages, so compensation for income that's been lost because of your inability to work as a result of the injury. Also, you can claim for non-economic things, so pain and suffering and emotional distress, so compensation for the physical and the mental aspect of the injury. Those are things that you can claim for and can recover for after a dog bite injury. The third thing to be aware of is to build your case. So to build a strong case for compensation, you want to make sure that first of all, you are documenting your injury. As soon as it happens, or as soon as you are able to, make sure that you are taking photos of your injury. You want to make sure that you attend for medical treatment, because then you will have medical records that will show that you were bitten by a dog and the severity of your injuries. Your lawyer can help you to collect all of the medical documents that are relevant. You want to make sure that you are also taking photographs of the injury, the location where you were injured. So if you were outside of your house and the dog ran up in your yard, you want to make sure that you have a picture of where it happened. It's helpful for later so that you can remember and to build your case. You also want to make sure that you are reporting the incident as soon as possible after it happens. So you can report the bite to local authorities or animal control, and this will help to establish an official record of what happened to you. You also want to make sure that you're consulting a lawyer, so contact a personal injury lawyer who specializes in dog bite cases and has experience in this area, and they can help you to get the compensation that you deserve for your injury. And most personal injury lawyers offer a free consultation. I can be contacted at the information below, but really any personal injury lawyer will be able to speak with you and give you advice about what to do next. So now we've reached where I will tell you why I think you should start a claim. The impacts from a dog bite can be really far-reaching. So the impacts on the person who's injured, they can lead to severe physical injuries, including bites, scratches, and being knocked over, so bruising. This can often require medical treatment, and you may have medical expenses. So treatment for dog bites can get expensive if you need vaccinations to prevent diseases because of the dog bites, to get tests done. Also, you want to recover for the pain and suffering that you've gone through. Especially with a serious bite, there will be likely a longer recovery period, and it is important then that you do get some compensation for that pain and suffering. Also important to be aware of the potential complications from a dog bite. So even if initially your dog bite doesn't seem that serious, I do think it's important to consult a lawyer and to definitely keep an eye on your medical condition. Some of the complications that can arise are things like sepsis, so an untreated bite can result in a life-threatening infection with symptoms like abnormal blood temperature, confusion, and severe discomfort. Also, tetanus can result because of tetanus bacteria entering through the bite, causing symptoms such as jaw cramping, muscle spasms, and difficulty swallowing. Also, rabies. So you can also contract rabies from a dog bite. It's a viral infection transmitted from infected animals. Early symptoms include headache, fever, and itching around the bite area. Immediate medical intervention is crucial. Another complication that can arise is something called Capnocytophaga. This bacterial infection can lead to severe complications, including kidney failure and heart attacks if not treated promptly. So this summary should give you an understanding of some of the issues surrounding a dog bite and the legal implications and bringing a lawsuit in relation to that. If you want further details in relation to your specific circumstances, I would be happy to discuss with you.